Okay, let's talk about the zero exponent property. Here's what we need to remember about a zero exponent. Any non-zero number raised to the zero power is going to be equal to 1. Let's take a look at why that works, why that's true. So let's start with some facts that we know. We know that 3 to the third power means 3 times 3 times 3, which is equal to 27. We know that 3 to the second power means 3 times 3, which is 9. And we know that 3 to the first power just means that base is used once, it's just 3. If we stop and look at this, and in math we are always looking for patterns. So let's see if we can find any patterns here. The first one that jumps out to me is that over here the exponents, each time this exponent is going down by 1, it's being decreased by 1. On the product side, well, it's decreasing, but it's not repeated subtraction, so it's some type of division. So I'm trying to think what are they dividing by that can get me down to the next number each time. And we realize that they're dividing by 3 each time because they're taking away 1 3 every time that this goes down. So if we follow that logic, it's 3, 2, 1 with our exponents. Our next exponent would be 0. And if we follow our rule over here, divide by 3, 3 divided by 3 is equal to 1. So 3 to the 0 power is equal to 1. You can set this little example up with whatever base you want. And if you apply the same logic, you're going to end up with 1 when you get to the 0 power. Okay? Let's take a look at a couple of examples that I want you to work along with me and get these in your notebooks. The first one over here says that it's b to the fourth, c to the second, divided by b to the second c. Did I leave out d to the 0 power? Okay, so what we've got here, we're still going to do the grouping like we did before. So I'm going to have b to the 4th power divided by b to the 2nd power. We're going to have c to the 2nd power divided by c to the 1st power. Excuse me, 1st power. And up here we've got d to the 0 power. What is d to the 0 power? D to the 0 power is 1. So I'm basically multiplying this whole thing by 1 when I get done. So next thing, we're going to have b to the 4 minus 2 power. We're going to have c to the 2 minus 1 power. All that times 1. When we simplify, we're going to be left with b to the 2nd power. Fix my b there. I don't like that b at all. Let's start over. We've got b to the 2nd power times c to the 2 minus 1, so that's c to the 1st or just c, multiplied by 1. When we multiply by 1, because of the multiplication identity property, it does not change. We're left there. Okay? Let's take a look at the second example. It's 2 times f to the 4th times g to the 7th times h to the 3rd divided by 12 f to the 3rd, g to the 9th, h to the 6th. All of that raised to the 0 power. So we can start grouping, but before we start grouping, let's stop. Whatever the quotient is in here, does not matter what that answer is, that's going to be my base, and that base is going to be raised to the 0 power. And what is any number, non-zero number raised to the 0 power? 1. So our solution there is just 1.